Motion to approve our agenda for today?
So moved. I'll second that.
Excellent, thank you. How about approval of our minutes from our June meeting? Which, yeah, okay. I don't know if it's, if we have time to have those pulled up quickly.
And I wasn't here, so other than.
Oh, no problem. Hello. How are you? Good, how are you? Good. I don't know how it works. We keep going.
Postpone until next month. I move that we postpone approval of the minutes until next month.
Okay.
No one's-
Approval of last June's minutes? Yeah, no, I know they have.
It's not your fault.
It's not your fault. It's our fault. Can we put? Do I have a motion to approve those at our September meeting?
Yes. Second.
Okay, excellent. Okay, so we're going to kick off this meeting with Christina, who is here with Asheville Pickleball Association, and we welcome her, and she has the floor to tell us a little bit about her organization.
All right, so thank you again for the invitation. I'll just give you a card of the Asheville Pickleball Association. We hope that you will visit our website, and hopefully we're going to continue conversations with each other. We're excited of the support that Woodfin has shown to pickleball in your surveys to staff, your community. So again, my name is Christina DePush, and I'm the president of the Asheville Pickleball Association. And as I confessed to Adrian, I do not play pickleball. But now I'm going to tell you a short story of how this happens, and I know I have about 10-15 minutes. So the Asheville Pickleball Association started, there was a group of interested pickleball players, about 8 to 10 people, about 2 years ago, started meeting once a month just to have a conversation. At that point in time, we knew the sport was growing. We all knew it was the fastest growing sport in America. We were all, and many of my friends, as I was telling Adrian, are all pickleball enthusiasts. And so when I wanted to see my friends, I'd go hang out with pickleball players. So I did. And so about somewhere, we started meeting 2 years ago, somewhere within about 3 or 4 months, I'm sitting somewhere having this pickleball conversation for the 10th time, when people wanted to have dedicated courts and people really wanted to go after grants and go after money. So just a minute about me. I'm a 42-year government employee, public servant, state of North Carolina, and local government here in Buncombe County. Okay? So I know a lot about government, and I am a person who has represented people of poverty and disability for 42 years all across North Carolina, from Murphy to Manteo. I've had a great career, and the part of my great career is I've learned a lot about I've had the privilege of learning how to build community, how to build relationships, and what it really takes to get anything done, and really in any system, and humbly, definitely in government, and how to get money. So people had great ideas, and people in my this pickleball community were getting very frustrated, and I said, well, before you can do anything, you're going to have to be official. You're going to have to become an organization, because you can't go after any money. You really can't seriously go talk to somebody. It is phenomenal to be a interested, committed, dedicated group of citizens, but what the world really kind of expects you to be is organized and official of something. So I volunteered on that particular night that I would help them become an organization. So over the last 18 months, I have been working with the IRS to establish a nonprofit, which we are now officially a nonprofit, fully nonprofit, officially an organization that is called the Asheville Pickleball Association. And I will just say that one of the things, probably many of us have lots of opinions about the IRS, but I have never had the most positive experience in my life working with them. And the great thing about the IRS was, in getting our application, we had to answer a whole bunch of questions, not just the application. But the reason I'm sharing this is the number one reason we became a nonprofit, and they finally approved after talking to about 4 or 5 people at the IRS, was that we were a sport, we were about wellness, we were about health, we were about community, and we were going to be about kids, 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 and adults. And so I say that to say that it was a real learning experience of, and we were fine with everything I've just said. That is absolutely part of the sport. So I think when I stand in front of you today as hopefully a partner and a future relationship with wherever Woodfin goes about pickleball, is that what we bring to you today is an official organization. We bring a committed group of citizens. We are new. We have a board of directors, we have a bylaw, we have mission statements, we have all the stuff to be a real thing. And what we are beginning to do is we are beginning to practice those values and beliefs. And I say that because I think many people walk into a government building and you see a mission and a vision, and after a while it just becomes a picture on a wall. And part of my personal and professional interest is that that is not true. It is something we do, we practice, we are, we be, and we deliver on that. And I'm very honest. I'll say to you that I say to the board every month we meet that as long as you do that, I'm good to go as your president. And I'm very honest about not playing the sport. I'm really the business, the backbone of building the organization that has the privilege, and I mean this seriously, the privilege to come talk to you and your community of Woodfin of developing whatever that relationship or partnership will be. So you may say, so if you just started, what does this mean for you? Or what can you do for us? Well, I think we can circle the wagons of the pickleball players in Woodfin. We can bring expertise. We have a lot of expertise within the pickleball community about pickleball, running a pickleball set of courts, running a pickleball business as part of your park. I mean, lots of things. So I think we bring a lot of expertise from different members. I bring one piece of it, and usually I bring a lot of different people with me into the room so that you really have what you need. And I know in talking to Shannon and Coral and Adrian, it's important that on another day, whenever I think you are serious about pickleball, and we're very grateful for that. And I think what we want to do, and I'm very honest, we are a new organization. We are a learning organization. You know, we've got a website, we've got an Instagram, we've got a Facebook, we've got social media. We are doing, Adrian said, what about your membership? We're kicking off a membership drive. We've had lots of people join and member, and you say, what do you get to be a member? You get the privilege of helping us grow this organization right now. That's where we are. We're a grassroots organization, I think, with a great amount of potential. I am all about the relationship among the community of pickleball players, and as you will know, as you represent your community here in Woodfin and what you're trying to do, a community has many great things and many great challenges, right? So if you look into the pickleball community, it's not any different than any other community. You got great, dynamic, outstanding people, and you have people who complain about everything in the world, and you just love that too at the end of the day. Government has been a good teacher to me about accepting the challenge and knowing that you're not going to please everyone, but you can continue to move things along. So if, you know, on another day, our mission statement, it really talks about, the ultimate goal is to have dedicated pickleball courts within this region. And I'm very sensitive because people say, why did you call yourself Asheville? Aren't you limiting yourself? Well, that was kind of a decision beyond me. But what I would say is that we step into Buncombe County and we step into Western North Carolina as a pickleball association, and I think we've had a lot of people, a lot of interest. We are absolutely going to get organized enough so that we bring more to you in the future other than the expertise. We are absolutely going to be looking for investors and collaborators. I don't know in this community, I know several communities have asked us to look at signing a community agreement and really having an official partnership with them. And so I don't know if that's something you do in Woodfin or not, but I would say if you do, I would love to have that conversation with you and what that would look like. So let me just stop there because I'm about at 10 minutes. But today I just wanted to come have y'all meet me, and I really encourage you to visit our website. You'll see a picture of our board. We are literally figuring out terms of people on the board tomorrow night. We have a couple of different vacancies. The world is really, which I think is absolutely correct, looking for having a diverse board. And all that diversity means and inclusiveness of it. I would love to see a youth, a young adult be part of our board. Pickleball, and even though, people say you just go around and sell everything. No, I'm not selling you anything, to be really honest. What I'm trying to do is to be real, to just say, what an interesting sport, right? What an interesting sport and what the sport has done for people of all ages. I spent some time in Florida where my son is. Special Olympics does pickleball now, all over Florida down there, in Kentucky, in South Carolina. Senior citizens, people of all kinds of disabilities and challenges. You don't have to be rich to play pickleball. So I think that as your community moves forward in their decision to to develop and build the pickleball courts, I would really love to help you and support you, and if it's putting something on our web or just being a champion for you, to really, you have a signature of all-inclusiveness in pickleball. And I don't have to prove that. The sport has proven that all across the United States, right? So you would just be another community that would be offering that to your citizens, which I think, I use the word signature a lot because I think a signature is a very, very important thing. I mean, I think about this Greenway and where you're going in 5 minutes or something and what you're going to do there. That's going to be a huge signature. I don't live in this community, but do I know about it? Yes, right? Because it's going to be a great thing. And it's going to be a thing that's going to, I hope, economically, I've never talked to a person. I've had a lot of conversations with people across the country who are developing pickleball, if it's courts or an indoor place or an outdoor place, whatever it is. People are doing very well from a financial investment perspective. Absolutely, for sure. So, what can I do for you?
I think it's wonderful to hear your background and to learn a little bit more about your goals, your mission with the association, and no doubt we'll be talking quite a bit.
Well, I really look forward to it.
We do as well.
I meet new friends every day, new colleagues, professionals, and I would say truly let us help you with your vision. We're all volunteers, but we're all excited to move the sport forward, and I think you will find a lot of commitment, dedication, and sincerity in the people that I would encourage to come forward and help with you. And we would take that very seriously and be very grateful to have an opportunity to do that. So, anything else? Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to say something. First of all, fantastic.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you.
I have a bit of a background with pickleball. I, maybe like 8 years ago, helped spearhead pickleball for the YMCA of Western North Carolina.
Sweet.
And, over that time, it's obviously grown to multiple centers and even outside of it. It's huge, right?
Yes.
Without a doubt. And one of the best, there's a couple of things that I certainly love about it, and you spoke to it, is it's hard to find something, an activity that's as multi-generational as pickleball.
Yes.
And then on top of that, when you look at like the active agers that have really embraced pickleball, and we have a lot of members, and that solely are members of the Y for pickleball, and pickleball, unlike or like other activities, really has a sense of community.
Yes.
And whether it's a cup of coffee afterwards or things of that nature. So I applaud what you're doing and enjoy those aspects of the sport.
I think that's thank you so much. I think it makes it easy to walk into a community like where you are in this conversation and your interest, and you've done your surveys and everything, and to know, at least at this moment, I believe it would match your values and beliefs of the community and what you're trying to do down there at that park. And we are very interested. I'm very sensitive about this, making sure, we have a lot of choices in this world. Let's align with the people who want to do the right thing for all the right reasons, right? So I appreciate your comments. It's kind of amazing what's happened in this world of this thing called pickleball, right? So, anything else I can do for you today? Well, I wish you well. Your vision is quite amazing. I went down to the park the other day. I thought, I should really go see before I go talk to people about being part of their vision. And I respect and honor and applaud you for what you're doing for your community, and really for probably a
We appreciate your time, Christina. Thank you again for joining us.
Look
We'll
forward
talk
to
to you
hearing
soon.
from you again.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we'll be in touch. Thank you.
Okay, so quickly, Silverline Park, as she was just talking about pickleball, we did solicit bids for a master plan for the park to include permanent restrooms, and then future amenities, hopefully pickleball. So we got two responses from that request for bids, and
Who
we're
were the
currently
responders?
Equinox Environmental and CDC. So we're currently scheduling interviews with those two firms, and we'll probably be having those at the end of August, and can go from there.
Can I ask you a quick question? Is it possible to, and it could be that it's on the website, the RFPs?
The RFPs are on, The solicitation or the responses?
The questionnaire, whatever you send to potential vendors?
It's on the website.
It's on the website. Okay, thanks.
If for some reason it isn't, just let me know and I can email you a copy.
All right, thank you. And then also, if we participate in those interviews, can we get a copy of the responses prior to the interview? Okay.
Absolutely, yes. I should say the interview team is going to consist of Coral, myself, Eric Hardy, and Sherry Powers, who's on our staff. Any other questions about Silverline Park? Moving on to Riverside. So as Coral pointed out in her email last week, we do have coming soon signs up now. We have the one at the existing park. We have a second one that'll go up at closer to the old Waste Pro site. We're waiting on that brown building to be demolished. That's taken a little longer than we originally thought because the contractor got involved with the evergreen packaging situation and has gotten sidetracked on that. But I'm hoping that's going to be down within the month, and then we'll have a second sign on that side. We've had some discussions with DOT about the bridge replacement, the Old Lester Highway bridge replacement. They are in the early design phases now, but the tentative plan is for construction to start in May of '25. That will affect the park in some way. We don't know exactly what that is yet. The original thought was that the bridge would span the park, but that, after engineer review, that's not possible. So there will be two piers, one closer to the Greenway side of the park, and one closer to the riverbank. So we are in coordination with DOT on what that looks like and any potential design changes that will be necessary based on that.
I'm sorry to interrupt here, but as a Woodfin resident, I actually got a mailing from Buncombe County on the fact that the bridge is going in.
Okay.
Yeah, did you get that? No? I think maybe our subdivision is slightly closer. That could be why. I don't know if it's based on the proximity.
From Buncombe County?
Either Buncombe County or DOT.
Must have been
saying
DOT.
it's
Okay,
going to be
it was
starting, like, I thought it said next year, but that was interesting.
Yeah, I could throw a stone into your neighborhood.
Yeah, you could.
I won't, but.
Thanks.
As you got, I think Wayne sent out an email about the user policy. Did you attach the copy of the policy?
I did.
So the Taylor's Wave Task Force has been meeting regularly, and the goal of that task force is to create the event policy and the user policy. And we're close to the final draft of the user policy that we'll be sending to you guys before the next meeting in September for your review. And maybe we can go a little bit further into that at that meeting. And we it's possible we'll have the event policy by that time too, but that's tentative.
It's impressive. Well done. It's a lot of work into that.
We got a good group of people that's given us a lot of good feedback, so it's been
Yeah, it is
really
good.
good. Yeah. On the permitting side, we're getting closer. We have resubmitted to Division of Water Resources and Environmental Quality, and are working on, and they've sent back responses, so we're working on submitting responses to that, and we're hoping that'll be the last back and forth. We've also had a good conversation, or we didn't, but our consultants had a good conversation with the Army Corps last week, and they just had a few lingering questions for the WAVE consultants on the safety policy and the high water, something about the high water policy. And so they're coordinating with Equinox on a response to those questions. But they were, all in all, very positive about the interaction with Army Corps. We've also received preliminary approval from Norfolk Southern, and they sent us a draft agreement for the temporary construction easement. We have reviewed that and sent it back to them for their review, so we're just waiting on a response from them for that final agreement. We have entered into final agreement with Craggy Mountain Line for a temporary construction easement, so that's done, so that's good.
Okay.
The Norfolk Southern agreement is contingent upon the approval of the conditional letter of map revision through FEMA, and we've finally received response from them. S2O, the consultant, was very optimistic about that response because there was no technical questions. It was all around the property owner notification letters. So they thought that was a good sign. They're working on that, and so hopefully we'll be getting that approval soon too. And then Eric and I, more so Eric than I, are working on the bid documents, so we'll be ready to send those out as soon as possible after the permits are issued.
Do you have an idea on timing for this bid doc? Like if you were to guesstimate when they would go out?
So I'm being cautiously optimistic that we'll have all our permits in hand by the end of the month, and we'll be able to issue that bid document in September. I'm sticking to that plan. It might change, it's tentative, but that's my plan for now.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So that's the timeline, end of August, to wrap up permitting, issue the bid document, 60-day period. So hopefully be entered into a contract by the end of the year and begin construction Q1 '24.
Does that still hit your surfing timeline?
What's that?
Does that still hit your surfing timeline that you put on Facebook?
Whatever it's. Yeah, I'm optimistic like Adrian is. I've been tuned into all this.
Yeah.
So, and I think we're going to hit the ground running with a nice event. You know, the events policy will come across. We'll hit the ground running with a nice event, you know, kind of the opening and then some activities after that.
Love it. It's exciting.
Positive news.
That is great. Yeah, I love it.
I guess for one that struck me was hearing back from the, the railroad. Because that seemed to be something that was holding us up for a while.
We found somebody that knew somebody, so.
Sweet.
That's okay.
Greenway, just quick update on that. I don't have a whole lot to offer on that, but they're waiting on one final approval from DOT to move forward with the Beaver Dam Creek section feasibility study. So hopefully that'll get going soon. And then the Riverside portion, the hydraulic modeling is underway, and the permit application is expected to be submitted by mid-August, with right-of-way acquisition happening soon thereafter. And there's a 12-month timeline on the right-of-way acquisition. The project manager is hopeful it won't take that long, but they have that in their schedule. And then just generally, as Ann let you know, we were coordinating with AmeriCorps on the potential for a volunteer coordinator, and we developed a job description and sent that in, and it was approved. I know Ann said it wasn't listed on the web. Did you ever hear back from them? Okay. So we need to follow up on why it's not there, but it should be soon, and we'll be trying to get a volunteer coordinator in here to help us out for a little while.
That is huge. Kudos to Ann
Yeah.
and the project management team, and Adrian, to you and your crew here to make that happen so fast. It's so exciting. Well done.
Yeah, pretty excited about that too. So.
Yeah, that's incredible. Again, somebody knew somebody. And had a name and made it happen swiftly, so that was great.
So that's all I had, unless you have any questions.
It's fantastic.
It's great that things are moving
I
so
know
well.
it. It's good.
Like everything's moving.
Like we hit the tipping point. We're rolling now.
Downhill.
So we have 5 minutes, no restroom situation on our tour. If people want to just quickly use the restroom if needed, fill water bottles, whatever. And Mark, you're our tour guide, so we're handing the floor over to you.
Yeah, can we do a little intro here before we?
You got it.
To start with, first, guys, this is John Douglas. John is the former development director at French Broad River Academy. He's was involved there for many years until about 10 days ago when he retired. No, 3 months ago. Now he's the board chairman of the school, deeply involved. He's going to be our driver. French Broad River Academy has graciously donated a van in this gentleman's time, and John's done this before. He actually got us arrested by Mike Dykes last time we did it. So hopefully we'll avoid that. Just kidding, we didn't get arrested. There was an incident. You'll hear more about that.
Thank you.
Let me, I want to talk a little bit about the context. First thing I would say is Woodfin, Greenway, and Blueway, the entire project is really big, compared to the size of Woodfin. It is a regionally significant, regionally important project. It is a project for the region, in some ways by the region, because the funding for this $32 million project, about $5.5 million right now is coming from the town of Woodfin. The rest is coming from the broader community, the Tourism Development Authority, the county, state, federal grants, et cetera. Woodfin's town budget annually is about $7 million. So this is literally more than 4 times, this project is more than 4 times greater than the town's budget, which must be some sort of record for the state of North Carolina. I mean, it really is very ambitious and it's awesome. And so I say all this because in your roles, you're looking after the parks on behalf of the citizens of Woodfin, but it really, I think, has become the case that Woodfin is going to be the host for the broader community, for the region, for national and probably international people coming here for this set of amenities. I think that applies to the pickleball too. Mm-hmm. Woodfin puts in public pickleball courts, which seems likely. They're going to be the most popular public pickleball courts in Buncombe County immediately, I would guess. So. Yeah, this is great. This is what towns should do. Let's talk a little bit about the context first of the Greenways. I'm going to, let me hand this to you, Chris. And we may be one short of these maps, so somebody might need to look on with somebody else. The Woodfin Greenway, which we're going to trace the route of on our tour today, is actually going to be part of a larger network of greenways that extend down into Asheville, and ultimately it can extend elsewhere, as you'll see. The continuity of protected off-road paved greenway trails will be incredible. And we're going to look at how it hooks up at the southern end of our project and how it fits together. But what you see on this map, guys, is over 25 miles of connected, protected from traffic greenways. And again, I think the context, Woodfin's piece is going to be 5 miles, and that's part of the larger community greenway. And we're going to get tons of people that are on bikes and on foot and on rollerblades and everything else that will flow from outside of Woodfin into this project. There'll be some people driving here to hop on. They'll want to park here and hop on it. Mm-hmm. They'll be on the greenway coming up out of Asheville significantly as well. So that's some of the greenway context. I can answer questions about specific routes down in Asheville and so on. I think y'all are familiar with the Woodfin route, and I've got another map I'll share of that. We say Woodfin Greenway and Blueway. So just a word about what the concept of Blueway is. Blueway is used in other communities. When you think of Blueway, think of a river or stream corridor with some active interest and support for environmental qualities, water quality, buffer zones, wildlife, habitat, etc. Think of recreation. The French Broad River through our community is a popular boating and floating venue, and so when we say Blueway, that's what we mean. The access sites at Silverline Park and at Riverside Park are 2 things that activate the Blueway and make a Blueway what it is. The wave feature in the river is also going to be part of the Blueway implementation and experience. So that's just kind of what Blueway means. Big project, ambitious, fun. Just a couple words about me. Most of you guys know the background. I got involved in 2016 before the town Board of Aldermen at that time moved to put a $4.5 million bond on the ballot. And I was part of the brainstorming, I suppose, for what might be included in the amenities. This is me as a private volunteer, actually citizen in Asheville. I don't live in town like you guys do. But I'd known Jerry V. Hahn and other people involved, Jason Young, the town manager, and the discussion of the wave being included emerged at that time. The Greenway and the Silverline Park had been previously sort of considered and thought about. So I got so excited about it, I promised Mayor Vion and the alderman at the time that I'd work hard till we get this done to help raise money, communicate, politically advocate for grants and so on. So I'm still at it. I'm no less excited today than I was then. I think you guys know that the WAVE project, known as Taylor's Wave, is being named to honor my wife and my son, Taylor Hunt, who died in a whitewater accident about 7 years ago now. Our family has committed a $200,000 donation into the project, which we're very delighted to be doing, and we sort of expressed that intent back in 2016 when we got started. So I've got plenty of energy for it. I'm not giving up. Look, I mean, I'm so excited that we're, down the stretch with so many things coming together. So that's a little bit of the background. So once we're in the van, we're going to go from site to site to site and talk about different aspects of the project, and a lot of Q&A. And you guys tell me to shut up when I'm saying too much and when you have your own questions to dig into. So we'll do that. And Adrian, I'm not a staff of the town. I'm not the official voice. What I'm going to share with you is observations of what I think is going on. I'm relying on Adrian to interject and correct me when I get ahead of myself or anybody else. Sound okay?
Sounds great. Thank you so much for doing this.
Wayne?
You're not going to get us arrested, are you?
All right.
All right.
So rally at the van here in about 3 minutes. Does that sound right, Coral?
Sounds great. Thank you.
How are you, Lynn?
Okay. Yeah, doing all right.
Good.